The trunk of the tree of knowledge of good and evil is the spine, which houses and protects the nerves. Then the nerves branch out between each vertebrae to all areas of the entire body. The upper branches of the tree are from the waist up. The roots of the tree are the nerves coming out of the lower back, which travel down the legs. I will tell you toward the end of this series where the tree of life is located, but for now I'll stick with the tree of knowledge of good and evil.
Your nervous system powers every organ in your body. It keeps your heart beating, your blood flowing, everything. You don't even need to think about it. It's automatic. Go to sleep and it's still working around the clock. Then why do people numb their nerves with drugs, alcohol, painkillers? Well, part of the reason is nobody's ever explained the nervous system to you.
When you're in physical, emotional pain, the doctors run straight for their prescription pad. Some of them won't even try to find the cause of the problem unless you push them. If they told you what was really going on, the cause, you could easily get past the pain, which is merely a symptom. Whose bright idea was it to numb the very thing that God invented? How many of us are going through life in unnecessary agony because medical doctors prefer numbing the nerves instead of finding the cause? Pain is simply a signal to let you know there's something wrong. If your appendix is about to burst, aren't you happy you have pain to tell you to get to the hospital immediately? And what if you have chest pain and numbness in your arm? Well, you better run your ass to the ER. Pain may feel evil, but it's really just a warning signal, and it hurts so badly that you can't ignore it because you have better things to do. Pain springs you into action, the way God intended. It is not a punishment. It's a messenger. I can understand taking painkillers while you search for the cause, but not as a replacement to finding a cure.
Emotional pain is no different. If you're depressed, there's a reason. Sometimes a psychotherapist can help, but only to a degree. The only thing to bring me out of a lifelong, deep, dark depression is Christ. He works right on my DNA.
The New Age stuff is interesting and exciting, but there are a lot of lies purposely mixed in to keep us down, which I happen to know from years of first-hand experience. Buddhism is great, but I had trouble meditating. I learned so much valuable stuff from Buddhists, but Christ and the Bible was the only way out of my hellhole. With that being said, I need to be clear here. Jesus was indeed teaching that the path to enlightenment, the path to God, is through the chakras.
He also taught so much more in addition to the chakras. Buddha didn't teach how to love, heal, and educate others. Jesus took Buddhism to a whole new level, to a level of giving and healing. If you can wrap your head around the possibility that the religious folks only know part of the story, you will break through the fog. Chances are they do know all of this, but they're hoarding this information because they are run by secret societies that have been in full operation since Christianity began, if not longer. They don't want you to come into full power as Jesus promised you could, so they hide Jesus' full message.
Don't become complacent thinking you've arrived. You may be more awake than most, but you cannot reject Christ, or you've stopped growing. So, where does this electrical power come from? Well, the chakra system runs along the spine. There are 7 main chakras that I will explain in the following pages. Each chakra is spinning in the opposite direction, alternating between clockwise and counterclockwise, attempting to create balance between the polarities, like a battery. In the following videos, I will show you the tie between the chakras and the nervous system, and I think you will start to see the point that I would eventually like to make. Stick around.
As I looked at the living creatures, I saw a wheel on the ground beside each creature with its 4 faces. This was the appearance and structure of the wheels. They sparkled like chrysolite, and all 4 looked alike. Each appeared to be made like a wheel intersecting a wheel. As they moved, they would go in any one of the 4 directions the creatures faced. The wheels did not turn about as the creatures went. Their rims were high and awesome, and all 4 rims were full of eyes all around. When the living creatures moved, the wheels beside them moved, and when the living creatures rose from the ground, the wheels also rose. Wherever the Spirit would go, they would go, and the wheels would rise along with them, because the spirit of the living creatures was in the wheels. When the creatures moved, they also moved. When the creatures stood still, they also stood still. And when the creatures rose from the ground, the wheels rose along with them, because the spirit of the living creatures was in the wheels. Spread out above the heads of the living creatures was what looked like an expanse, sparkling like ice and awesome. Under the expanse, their wings were stretched out one toward the other, and each had 2 wings covering its body. When the creatures moved, I heard the sound of their wings, like the roar of rushing waters, like the voice of the Almighty, like the tumult of an army. When they stood still, they lowered their wings. Then there came a voice from above the expanse over their heads as they stood with lowered wings. Above the expanse over their heads was what looked like a throne of sapphire, and high above on the throne was a figure like that of a man. I saw that from what appeared to be his waist up, he looked like glowing metal, as if full of fire, and that from there down he looked like fire, and brilliant light surrounded him. Like the appearance of a rainbow in the clouds on a rainy day, so was the radiance around him. This was the appearance of the likeness of the glory of the Lord. When I saw it, I fell face down, and I heard the voice of one speaking.